Good morning. Happy Saturday. Starting to chill off a little bit. Getting into fall here. We got the corn being harvested a bunch. I live out here in lots of beautiful open land, and man, I love getting out here and doing some walks. So today I wanted to talk about a sort of chicken and the egg scenario where, like, which comes first, right? And how do you get into this cycle? And that is that you have to get a job in order to have experience in something, but you have to have experience in order for somebody to want to hire you for a job, right? And so the conundrum is, how do I get experience if I can't get the job? And how do I get a job if I don't already have the experience? And so what the answer to this is actually not within that circle of the job or the experience. Because in order to get experience, you have to do something, right? Whatever that experience is going to lead you into, whatever that skill is, you have to do something, and you have to do it over and over. You can't do something one time and say you're experienced at it, right? And so the precursor to experience is actually ambition. And so ambition is simply the definition of internal motivation, right? This is your own self-drive to want to do things. And I live by the saying, the way you do anything is how you do everything, right? So if you're ambitious in one area, you're going to be ambitious in just about everything that you do. So when it comes down to this job experience scenario, there are several ways that you can get into the working world and into the job world without actually having done the job before. I'm not going to go into what all those what all of those options are, but every single one of them boils down to how ambitious are you? Because if I go to hire somebody, say I'm Home Depot, for example, okay? And I've got a position open, I need somebody to fill this position. I'm looking for somebody who already knows how to do this job, right? That's the best candidate. Somebody who's already done this, they've got experience, they've got proof that shows they did the thing before, they've got references from somebody else, they've got past job history, letters of recommendation, whatever it may be, okay? That's the easiest way for me to see, first of all, that someone has experience, but all of that experience required prior ambition. Okay, I know you cannot get experience unless you are motivated to do a thing over and over to become experienced at it. So if you are coming to me and I'm the HR guy at Home Depot and I've got this position open, and you come to me and you say, I've got all this experience, I've got all this and that, how do I get the job, when do I start, blah, 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 I'm going to look at you as probably a pretty strong candidate. But if I also have somebody who comes in and they have the exact same experience, but they also bring a better vision of what their ambition is, not only what have I done up to this point, but what am I going to do once I get here? Have you ever been asked in a job interview, what are you going to do once you get this job? Everybody will look at you crazy, right? What? You're giving me a position. You're supposed to tell me what I'm supposed to do. That's not ambitious. That's not a leader. That's a follower. That's somebody who needs to be told step by step what to do every single day in order to have you taking action. Ambitious people don't always really need directions. They have ingenuity. You think outside of the box. Louie, good to see you today, my man. So if you're the guy going into a job interview and you even have all the experience, Mike Ferry, what's going on? If you've already got experience in something and you're vying for a position against somebody else who also has experience, what's the difference? Who has more experience? Okay, maybe that's a legitimate factor. But if I am a hiring manager in any way, and I'm looking at two people and they have similar experience, how do I determine the difference? How do I determine who's the better person? It usually comes down to the interview. And the interview is your opportunity to exploit two pieces of your character set. Number one is experience. That's your resume. That's the whole thing you bring in on a piece of paper. That's easy to do. That's structured. It's ready to go. The ambition is the other thing that all employers, every single one of them, is looking for, even if they don't ask you about your ambition. All right? So if you want to kill an interview, you want to beat anybody else out of a job, once you already have the experience, okay, we're going to go there first. This is assuming you already have the experience. You need to show what it is that your vision is for what you would like to see accomplished, or areas for improvement, or whatever it may be, something that you can bring to the table that isn't already there, something they're not telling you about. You have taken that ambition yourself and the motivation to determine where you can provide value. Yeah, I can come in and do this job that you guys are already lining out for me, but this would be an awesome thing, and this would be an awesome thing, and this would be an awesome thing as well. And I would love to be able to, have this position to get me into a place where we can work together and improve some of these areas. Okay? If you bring that kind of interest to a position, and you're the only one that does, you could be out any level of experience. You could have somebody who is super, super good at a thing, but if all they're going to do is show up, clock in, do the minimum to get their time, and clock out, versus somebody that's going to come in, clock in, do the minimum plus some, and I have all these things that I would like to work with you guys on and make for improvement, and this could be better and whatever. Allison, good to see you. Those levels of ambition will be noticed to take you over the top and above those people who have the same level or even sometimes higher experience levels, all right? So the ambition is the difference. Now, if we pull this back to the beginning and we say you can't get the job without experience, say you have no experience in anything, that's a lot of people's situation, especially if you're young. Now, if you're young, you also usually don't have a lot of ambition, especially in today's day and age. We have made life so easy for young people. They don't even have to know how to do math. They're carrying one of these phones around their pocket. They got a calculator all the time. Like they said back when we were kids, you ain't going to have a calculator all the time. Well, I do now, right? So I don't have to be that ambitious in learning how all the different ways of math work. But long story short, if you don't have experience in something and you want to try to get a job in something, the easiest way for you to break into any industry, I don't care, is to offer to do it for free. Now, that sounds ridiculous because there's not a single job that anybody really wants to do for free. There's some jobs that we would do, versus others because they're better. But that willingness to do a job regardless of compensation immediately shows ambition. Now, obviously, if you're, 16 years old and you try to go to Home Depot and say, hey, I know I can't work here till 18, but I'll do it for free. Legally, they can't hire you until you're 18, all right? So you have to still work within the laws and what is logistically possible, right? But there's always somebody looking for help. Always. Every single job has somebody whose job requires them to do a lot of things. And if you're willing to figure out where are the pitfalls and what you're doing in this job, what are the things that take you extra time or that cause you extra stress, let me take that stress off of you. Let me be your gopher. Let me be the dude that goes and gets your tools or gets the coffee or I don't know, whatever it comes down to be within that position. You can create your own value and you can create your own experience without ever having actually fulfilled a real position. You can make it up. That's the magic of living in a free country that we do here in the United States. When I was young, but I was like 14 when I got my first job. I had no idea what I was going to do, but I knew I needed some money. And so At 14, you can't go work at McDonald's. You can't work in a gas station. You have to be 16. They won't hire you at those places. It's a legal thing, right? And so I asked around to some people that I knew. I said, hey, do you know anybody that needs some help doing anything this summer? I don't really know what I would do, but I'm strong and I'm willing to do just about anything. And talked to a bunch of people. A whole bunch of people told me no. So many people like, nah, I don't really have work for a 14-year-old. I don't know, whatever. So after I talked to, I don't know, half a dozen people, I talked to this one guy. He was older than me. I was a kid. He was an adult at the time, but we raced BMX bikes together. So he was in his mid-20s. And I asked him, I said, man, I'm trying to find some way to make some money this summer. You know, I want to get some better parts on my bike and, you know, the kid ambitions. And he's like, oh yeah, this apartment complex that I live at, they need some help in the maintenance department. I don't know how to maintain apartments. What does that entail? He's like, I have no idea, but they were asking if we knew anybody that needed a job and wanted to work this summer. I was like, all right, dude, sign me up. I'll figure it out. So I got a job the summer after 8th grade. I got this job at an apartment complex. And when they say maintenance, they should have changed the term to painting because I basically painted all summer. Now, I had no experience painting. I didn't know a damn thing about painting. But, Rosa, good to see you. I showed up for work the first day, and they walked me over to a set of stairs. And these stairs were metal on the bottom, and they had concrete on the top. And the bottom was all painted white, but a lot of that paint was chipping off. Right? And so they showed me how to take a little metal scraper, scrape off the pieces that were kind of chipping off. I didn't have to take all the paint off, just if it was already kind of chipping off. Make sure none of it was flaking, and then paint back over it. They gave me a little edging tool so I could hold it up against the edge and paint so it didn't kind of go everywhere. And man, that first set of stairs was awful looking. I got paint on everything. My boss had to come back and was like, look, we got to clean this up a little bit better, all these things, right? But I didn't get fired. They're like, you did enough to put some paint on some stairs, right? And so the next day I came back, painted some more stairs, got a little bit better at it because I knew, okay, last time I got paint over here because I did this thing. This time I'm not going to do that thing, so I'm going to make sure I do this and that and whatever. It was that repetition over time. And at a couple months in, I had painted every single stair on every staircase in every apartment building in this entire complex. And there were about 30 buildings in this complex. So I spent my entire summer painting stairs. Now, I wasn't trying to get a job as a painter, but, sorry, this is loud, I'm out on the street here. Do you think that after 2 months of doing nothing but painting stairs, that I got better at it? Damn right I did. I could paint the hell out of some stairs by the end of the summer. So yes, I was able to gain some experience simply through ambition in that point. Now, yes, I got paid for that job. I was very fortunate that they were willing to work it out and pay me under the table. I think I made like $5 an hour, which back in that time was actually, I think, above minimum wage. So, shows you how old I'm getting here, but I was able to break in to the experience world simply because I had the motivation and the ambition to ask enough people if they knew about any kind of work. All right, that was one level of ambition. The second one was to learn a new skill of something that I didn't know. I'd never painted before. And the third one was the persistence to do it over and over wrong, but get better each time and do it a little bit less wrong each time. And by the end of the summer, I felt very confident in my ability to leave that job and tell them that I never wanted to do painting again. I also learned the things that I don't want to do in a job. I don't want to be a painter. I came home every day with paint all over me, paint all over my clothes, had to rinse off in paint thinner all the time. Like, it was a very good learning experience, right? But if you ever come to this situation where it requires you to have experience in order to get a job, find out the people who already have those jobs and what it is that you can do to help them without anything being asked in return. Because guys, the people who step up, the people who go out of their way to help other people and be visible doing it are the ones who move forward in the world. This is in every walk of life. Allison, I don't know if you're still here, but anybody that works with me, I manage a team at work of about 20 people. And those are the 2 steps that I tell every single one of them as to how to progress forward within the company. And number one, obviously, you got to do your job, but the number one thing is to help other people. Nobody's asking for payment for that. Good to see you, Allison. You got to help other people when they're struggling and doing the thing, right? Number one, because when you help somebody else, they're going to help you back. It's that mutual respect and benefit. But secondly, you want that help to be visible. You want it to be visible publicly so that you get recognized for those efforts that you're putting in. You're not going up to the boss and saying, hey, look at what I did for, Marco over here. No, you just want that, the action itself to be visible by the people who are in a position to allow you to get into the actual world that you're working within, right? So this is where apprenticeships come in. And an apprenticeship, or I don't remember the other term. Internship is another word. These are basically jobs that you do for free, specifically to get experience. So if there's not an apprenticeship or an internship that already exists in the area that you want to go into, or you don't know what area you want to go into, make it up. Make up your own world. Because at the end of the day, guys, no one will reward you for sitting on your ass and doing nothing. If you're the person willing to get up out of bed and go out and make things happen for yourself, you can determine your own value. I'll give you an example with my son. I'm getting close to my house, so we'll wrap this up here. But my son is now, he'll be 16 years old next month. He's been running a lawn mowing business for 3 years. He's had his own business for 3 years. Now, his second year in business, the kid made like $2,500 in like 3 months mowing lawns. There was nobody that gave him permission other than me, and I got him some equipment and stuff, but it was the ambition to go ahead and learn how to mow a lawn. He never mowed a lawn before. I was like, dude, I need you to mow my lawn. He's like, Dad, I don't know how to mow the lawn. I was like, all right, let's get you out here and have some people pay you to learn how to mow a lawn. So we walked around our neighborhood, talked to a couple of neighbors, got one that was like, oh yeah, cool, I'll pay you $20 to mow my lawn. He was pumped. Holy crap, I actually got it. It's amazing. The first time we did it, it wasn't that good. I had to go back over it, help him out. He missed a couple spots, but he learned and he got better. And he found another client and he kept going. And eventually, by the end of the year, man, kid could mow the hell out of a lawn. And so a couple years later now, he's 3 years into it. He's looking to scale his business. He's still not even of legal age to work at McDonald's. He can't even go get a driver's license yet. But he can mow a lawn. He's got a functional income. He has experience. And now his ambition level and motivation to move forward into the next thing is through the roof. So this is the magic of this, guys. Ambition allows you to gain experience. And ambition and experience are the two things that people are looking for when they're hiring you into a position of any sorts. But ambition and experience are a ladder effect. So when you have ambition to get experience, that experience breeds more motivation and ambition. And that ambition takes you to the next experience. It's cyclic. You go through it over and over and over, back and forth. So you get motivated to do a thing, you take an action, the action creates an experience. That experience allows you to develop the beliefs that you have in yourself and the confidence level to go into the next experience. All right, so hopefully this makes sense for you guys. If you guys have any questions, always hit me up with those. I absolutely love chatting with you guys on the after effects on these. But today I really wanted to just let you know, like, your ability to succeed in the world most of the time is within your control. You get to decide consciously what you put your focus and your efforts into every day. And when you do that over and over, you create a level of experience that becomes valuable to somebody else. And once you know your own value, you can charge whatever you want for it. So I appreciate you guys. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and we will see you next time.